Hey guys, this is Crystal, and today I'm working on my 2018 Project Life album, but I'm going back and finishing up those weeks that I skipped. I did weeks 1 through 4, and then I skipped ahead a few weeks, so I'm working on week 5 today. As you can see, I only have 4 pictures, and I'm using some of the, I think this is the November Studio Calico Documenter Kit from last year. I have had it in my stash for a while. I didn't buy it new. This actually might be from the year before. I'm not entirely sure, but I will look it up and I will link it below if you're curious to know which one it is. And I have used some of it, but I have plenty left. I think there's plenty here to work with, and I really liked how the colors really worked with, especially these 2 photos from my week. And I also have the 4x6 paper pad. So I bought the Documenter kit and the 4x6 paper pad. So a lot of this is from that paper pad. So I will probably have to pull some other things from my stash as well, but for now I am just going to put you on fast forward and get started.
So I'm going to start just by going through the cards and papers that were in this kit and try to decide what I want behind my photos. You can see there are 3 that are square, so they're going to need something behind them, and then I'll need cards to fill in the other pockets as well. So I'm just kind of trying to make sure that there's a good balance of color. The photos are, at least a couple of them, are fairly colorful, and I want to really make sure that those colors are spread out throughout the layout. So I'm just going through what's here and trying to make sure that everything is balanced across the spread. And there's where I realized that it is in fact from 2016, not last year. So this is the November kit from 2016. It takes me a little bit of time to go through all of these and decide what I want. I really like that purple card behind the quote card there, or the photo of the quote. So I know I want to use that, and I kind of like the way I have it now, except that those 2 polka dots, I didn't like the 2 of them together. So I just pulled a different card. I knew I wanted to add more of that blue at the bottom, so I found this one with the Shakespeare quote on it, and I'm going to use it. So now I'm just going to trim everything down so that they fit into the pockets. And this one, because it has the quote on it, I had to trim a little off of both sides to try and make it fit. And it got a little close to one side, but that's okay with me. And just trimming down, it's kind of like a grid or ledger card for my title card. And then this purple one to go behind the quote. And the 2 in opposite corners are very similar prints. One was a 3x4 card and it has some foiling on it. The other was just from the 4x6 paper pad. So it's the same print but without the foil. So this is the die cut pack that came in the kit, and I'm just going to go through and see if there's anything that I want to use. There's quite a few pieces that I end up using, but for right now I'm just kind of throwing things down in places where I think I might want to use them, and then I will move them around before I make my final decision later on. This word phrase package, I guess, and they're not really stickers, they're just they're like a tear apart sheet. They came in the kit as well, and I'm thinking right now that I want to use them because I really like adding more of that dark blue to the spread. But you'll see later on that I decide not to use them, mostly because I decide to use the other sort of, I guess it's not really metallic, it's kind of an iridescent finish that is on some of the elements from this kit. Like there's a package of hearts, and then there's some in those die cuts that have this kind of iridescent shine to them. And it reads as silver, and I don't like it in combination with the gold foil that's on the word stickers or the word phrases. So I end up not using the word phrases. I am going to use some of these chipboard shapes. This chipboard sheet came with the kit, and I really like that camera one. I know I want to use that as a filler card in the middle of the spread. And then that makes me start thinking I should use more circles, so I grab the ampersand one as well, and then that'll echo the circles that I have on the other 2 cards that are from the die cut sheet. So there's where I pull in that teacup that has the iridescent shine on it and those hearts, and I decide not to use those word stickers. This package of sticky notes also came in the kit, and I decided to spread those around my layout and use them for my journaling. This washi tape came in the kit and I really like it, but it doesn't really go with the feel that I have going in this spread. It's a bit chaotic compared to everything else I have, and I just couldn't think of how it would fit in. So there weren't any alpha stickers in my package for this kit. That doesn't mean that they didn't come in the kit. They probably did. I probably took them out at some other point and used them for something else. So I just went to my stash and grabbed these other Studio Calico alphas to bring in more of the purple. You can see the purple card behind, like I said, that image of the quote, and then there are some purple acetate stars that I'll end up using as well. So I thought it would be nice to add in a bit more purple, and honestly, it'll give me a chance to use these alphas, which I probably won't use in any other way other than a spread that has a lot of purple in it. I'm not a big purple fan, but purple works here, so I'm gonna go with it. So I decided to spell out the number 5 for this week, just to give it some balance on this card, to add a bit more of that purple rather than just the number 5. It'll give me the chance to add a few more of these letters. And then I'm going to use one of these sticky notes to stamp the dates for the week. So this is a tab sticky note, and I'm going to put the 5 on the top of the tab and then stamp the dates on that longer part. I realized I didn't even have my adhesive out yet, so I had to go grab that before I could adhere this down. And I ended up getting it too low, so there's a bit of adhesive sticking out, and I try and rub it off with my finger, but you'll see I'm just going to grab an eraser and it comes right off with that. So again, I'm using my Thickers placement tool, and it works wonderfully for this. I'm really happy that I picked it up, and I'm really happy with the way that it helps me lay out my titles and my phrases evenly. So I just grabbed my date stamp and some black ink, and I'll stamp the dates, the beginning date and the end date for this week, and I'm going to leave a little space in between so that I can add something. At this point, I'm not sure what, but I'm going to end up grabbing some puffy stickers from my stash because I want to add more of that navy blue. Since I'm not using the phrase tear apart sheet that came with the kit, I know I want to find another way to add some more of that dark blue to the spread. So I knew I had these handy, and they work perfectly here. So I really needed some kind of phrase sticker. I thought it just needed a little extra embellishment, and I thought again maybe I would use, maybe I could get over the fact that the two sort of metallic finishes were competing, but I couldn't. So I grabbed these from my stash. They're from a different Studio Calico kit. I'm not sure which one, but they are the same color as that camera chipboard. It's kind of like a dark teal. So it gave me an opportunity to add some more of that color to the spread, and it serves the same purpose as kind of that darker color, gives things a little bit more weight. So I'm just adhering this down, and then I'm going to add my journaling directly onto the photo just around that plate. So I'm going to write just some really short journaling in a circle around the outside of the plate. So there were a few stories that happened this week that I didn't have photos for. Stories I wanted to tell, but I didn't have anything to photograph. So I'm using a couple of these cards with larger journal spots to tell those stories, and this is one of those. And I'm just telling about how I spent a lot of time this week really thinking about personal style and how I want to really kind of present myself to the world, I guess. So I just wrote a bit about that there. And then I'm going to add another one of those little phrase stickers to the middle of that teacup. So this is a photo of one of the meals we made this week, and it was delicious. And I'm just adding it to this card, and you can't really tell on video, but the card has a very light yellow grid. So it brings in more of that yellow from the teacup and from that quote photo. And I'm just going to add a couple short lines of journaling just explaining what the recipe was that we had made, and saying that it was really good. And this card is almost done. It just needs a little something else, so I'm going to add a staple to the top and another little word phrase sticker beneath that yeah on the die cut, and then I'm going to call it done. So this quote came from Amy Tangerine's Instagram, and I just really loved it. It really spoke to me this week, so I took a screenshot of it at the time, and I thought it was worth adding to my spread. So I just want to make sure that I have a place to note where it came from, so I'm going to trim down one of those little tabs and add it to the bottom of the photo so I can do my journaling there. Then I'm just going to add this diamond chipboard piece to the top. And I think maybe it needs just a little something else. So I thought I would maybe add one of these hearts, but they're a little too big for the space that I left, and they compete too much with that chipboard piece at the top. So instead I decided to add one of these acetate stars, purple acetate stars from the kit. I just stapled that on because of course any adhesive I add you'd be able to see. So next I'm going to work on this other card that I left for another story that I just didn't have a photo for. So I'm going to adhere that down, add the chipboard in the center, and then just do a little bit of journaling around the edge, kind of to mimic the journaling I did in the top photo around the plate. And here I'm just writing about an event that happened at work this week. I had to play photographer and take everyone's photo for our website, which was a bit of a stretch for me, so I thought it was worth documenting. So for this photo, I thought first I might just add the journaling right in that white space on the photo, but ultimately I decided to use the other half of that little sticky note that I had used on the quote card, just to add a couple lines about what this photo means. It was taken at a local restaurant that has started offering brunch, and while I wasn't there for brunch at this time, I was really excited about the fact that there was a new place to go for breakfast. We don't have a lot of breakfast options here in town, so this was very exciting for me. And then I'm just going to add one of those hearts. Finally, I get to use one. There's just enough space for it there, and that's that card all done. So I'm using this quote card to document another thing that happened this week, and sorry it's a little bit out of frame there, but I'm just using it to note that that Jesse and I had kind of a date night at home. We watched a movie, and I thought, again, there was no photo for it, so I thought this quote card would be the perfect way to document it. And now I have, I added another one of those hearts, and that makes 3 places on the spread that have that sort of iridescent metallic finish. So I don't have any other stories to tell. This is just going to be a filler card. So I'm going to adhere this little flag sticky note to the middle of the card and add that camera chipboard piece. And then I'm just going to put another word phrase sticker in the middle that says hello there. And that's going to be it for this one. So the spread is almost done. I just decided to add one more little phrase sticker to this card here, just because there aren't any on the bottom of the spread, and I feel like it needs some to balance it out. And that is going to be it. That's the spread all done. There are some close-up photos coming up, so stay tuned to see those, and be sure to like this video if you found some inspiration, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful day.